Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm so excited to have you here with us today.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Thank you for joining us. In this podcast, we dive into topics that help you grow, both personally and professionally.
Today, we're discussing something that affects every single one of us: how to control your mind. Think about it. How many times have you felt overwhelmed by negative thoughts or found it hard to focus?
Exactly. The mind is so powerful, but if we don't learn how to manage it, it can control us instead of the other way around. That's why this is such an important topic for personal growth.
Controlling your mind doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or being perfect. It's about developing tools and habits that help you stay calm, focused, and in charge of your thoughts, especially during challenging times.
And we'll explore all of that today. We'll discuss what it really means to control your mind, the challenges people face, and some practical techniques you can start using right away.
Before we dive in, remember to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And if you find this helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit.
All right, let's get started. Jason, why don't we begin by talking about what it really means to control your mind?
So, Julia, let's start by unpacking what it actually means to control your mind. When people hear that phrase, they might think of something complicated or even impossible. But in reality, controlling your mind is about being aware of your thoughts and managing how you respond to them.
That's right, Jason. Our minds are constantly active, processing thousands of thoughts every day. Some of those thoughts are positive, but many can be negative or distracting. Controlling your mind doesn't mean stopping those thoughts. It means learning to direct your attention to what matters most.
Exactly. It's like steering a car. Your thoughts are the road and your mind is the driver. If you don't take control, you'll veer off course or even crash. But when you're in charge, you can choose the right path and avoid obstacles.
A great way to think about this is by understanding the connection between our thoughts, emotions, and actions. For example, a negative thought can make you feel stressed or anxious, which might lead to unhelpful behaviors like procrastination.
And that cycle can become automatic if we're not careful. But the good news is that with awareness and practice, we can break that cycle. When you control your mind, you're essentially retraining it to focus on the present moment and stay aligned with your goals.
It's also important to understand that controlling your mind isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about creating space to observe them without letting them take over. That's where techniques like mindfulness and meditation come in, which we'll talk more about later.
Absolutely. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that the more you practice managing your thoughts, the easier it becomes. It's like building a muscle. The stronger it gets, the more resilient you become to distractions and negativity.
That's such an empowering idea, Jason. Now that we understand what it means to control the mind, let's talk about some common challenges people face when they try to do it.
So, Julia, now that we've talked about what it means to control your mind, let's dive into the challenges. Because let's face it, knowing what to do and actually doing it are two very different things.
Absolutely, Jason. One of the biggest challenges people face is distractions. In today's world, we're surrounded by notifications, social media, and constant demands on our attention. It's no wonder our minds are always jumping from one thing to another.
That's so true. Another challenge is negative self-talk. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this? Those kinds of thoughts can take over and make it really hard to stay focused or confident.
Yes, and they often lead to another common challenge: overthinking. People tend to replay past mistakes or worry about the future, which creates a loop of stress and anxiety. It's like being stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink.
And let's not forget about where stress and emotional overwhelm. When life throws challenges at us, it's easy to feel like our minds are spiraling out of control. At those moments, it can be really hard to focus or make rational decisions.
Another one I've noticed is lack of awareness. A lot of people don't even realize they're caught in negative thought patterns until it's too late. It takes practice to recognize when your mind is wandering or when you're letting your emotions take over.
That's a great point, Julia. And I think one more challenge we should mention is impatience. Many people expect to see results overnight. They try techniques like meditation or mindfulness for a few days, and when they don't feel a big change, they give up.
It's true. Controlling your mind is a skill that takes time and consistency. But here's the good news. No matter what challenges you're facing, there are practical techniques that can help you overcome them.
That's exactly what we're going to talk about next. We'll dive into some effective strategies you can start using today to take charge of your mind. All right, now let's get to the good part. Practical techniques to control your mind. These are simple strategies you can use in your daily life to take charge of your thoughts and emotions.
Yes. And the best part is that anyone can do them, no matter how busy or stressed you are. Jason, why don't you start with one of your favorite techniques?
Sure, one of the most effective techniques is mindfulness. This is all about staying present in the moment. When your mind starts racing, try to focus on your breathing or notice the sensations around you. It can be as simple as feeling the texture of your clothes or the warmth of the sun.
That's a great one. Another technique I love is meditation. You don't need to sit in silence for hours. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. There are apps and guided meditations that make it super easy to get started.
Absolutely. And if meditation feels overwhelming at first, you can try deep breathing exercises. For example, the 4-7-8 technique. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. It's a quick way to calm your mind and reduce stress.
That's such a powerful tool. Another strategy is positive self-talk. When you notice negative thoughts creeping in, try to replace them with affirmations. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," tell yourself, "I'm capable, and I can figure this out."
I love that. Here's another one, journaling. Writing down your thoughts can help you process them and identify patterns. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try writing a list of what's bothering you and then note one small action you can take to address each issue.
That's such a practical tip. And for those who feel stuck in a loop of overthinking, try the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It brings you back to the present moment.
That's brilliant, Julia. Another simple yet effective technique is practicing gratitude. Every morning or before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's going right.
Gratitude is such a game changer. And lastly, I'd say create a routine that includes also regular physical activity. Exercise not only boosts your physical health, but also helps clear your mind and reduce anxiety.
Great point. All of these techniques are powerful, but the key is consistency. You don't need to do all of them at once. Start with 1 or 2 and build from there.
Exactly. Small, consistent steps can lead to big changes over time. And remember, controlling your mind is a journey, not a destination.
Well said, Julia. Next, let's talk about the benefits of controlling your mind. Because once you start practicing these techniques, the results can be life-changing. Now that we've talked about practical techniques to control your mind, let's explore why it's all worth it. Julia, what would you say are the biggest benefits of mastering this skill?
There are so many, Jason. One of the most immediate benefits is reduced stress and anxiety. When you learn to manage your thoughts, you can stop spiraling into worry and focus on what you can control.
That's so true. Another huge benefit is improved focus and productivity. When you're not constantly distracted by unhelpful thoughts, you can give your full attention to the tasks that matter most, whether it's work, relationships, or personal goals.
Exactly. And controlling your mind also helps with emotional resilience. Life will always have challenges, but when you can manage your emotions, you're better equipped to handle setbacks and bounce back stronger.
That's a powerful point. I'd add that it improves your relationships on too. When you're in control of your mind, you're more present with others, more patient, and better at communicating without letting emotions take over.
Absolutely. Another benefit is better decision making. When you're calm and focused, you can evaluate situations more clearly and make choices that align with your values and goals.
And let's not forget about the impact on your overall well-being. Controlling your mind can lead to better sleep, higher self-esteem, and even a stronger immune system because you're reducing stress on your body.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is, isn't it? And the best part is that the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, you develop a sense of inner peace that helps you navigate life's ups and downs with confidence.
Well said, Julia. These benefits show just how transformative controlling your mind can be. Now let's wrap things up with some final thoughts and a challenge for our listeners to put these ideas into practice. All right, Julia, we've covered a lot today. What it means to control your mind, the challenges, practical techniques, and the amazing benefits. But none of this will make a difference unless our listeners take action.
That's so true, Jason. So here's our challenge to you. Pick just one technique we talked about today. Whether it's mindfulness, journaling, or positive self-talk, commit to practicing it every day for the next week.
Exactly. Start small and be consistent. And don't forget to celebrate your progress, even if it feels like a tiny step. Every bit counts when you're building a healthier, more focused mind.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments below. What challenges are you facing and which techniques are helping you the most? Let's create a community where we support and learn from each other.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more content to inspire and empower you.
That's right. We're here to help you grow one step at a time. So take charge of your mind and watch how it transforms your life.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Personal Growth Talks podcast. Until next time, remember, you have the power to control your mind and create the life you want.
See you next time.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host for today, and as always, I'm joined by the wonderful Julia. How are you today, Julia?
Hi, Jason. I'm doing great, and I'm so excited to be here with all our amazing listeners. Today's topic is so important because it's something we all use every day, whether we realize it or not. We're going to talk about how to develop a positive body language.
That's right, Julia. Body language is such a powerful form of communication. It can affect how others see us, and more importantly, how we feel about ourselves. So, Julia, let's start with the basics. What exactly is body language?
Good question, Jason. Body language refers to the nonverbal signals we use to communicate. This includes our posture, facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, and even how we use space around us. Positive body language means using these signals in a way that makes us appear confident, approachable, and trustworthy.
Absolutely. And here's something interesting. Studies show that more than half of our communication is nonverbal. So even if you're saying the right words, your body language could be sending a completely different message.
That's so true. For example, if someone says they're confident but they're slouching, avoiding eye contact, and fidgeting, their body language might tell a different story.
Exactly. So, Julia, let's dive into some practical tips. What's the first step to developing positive body language?
The first step is posture. Stand or sit up straight, but not in a stiff way. Think of your head as being gently pulled up by an invisible string. Keep your shoulders relaxed and back. This not only makes you look more confident, but also helps you feel more confident.
I like that tip. Posture is such a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. What's next?
Eye contact. Maintaining good eye contact shows that you're interested, engaged, and confident. But it's important not to stare. A good rule of thumb is to look at someone's eyes about 60 to 70% of the time during a conversation.
Great point. Eye contact can be tricky for some people, especially if they're shy. But practicing with friends or in a mirror can really help. What about facial expressions?
Smiling is one of the easiest ways to develop positive body language. A genuine smile makes you seem friendly and approachable. But remember, your smile should match the situation. You don't need to force it. Let it come naturally.
That's a great reminder, Julia. A smile can brighten someone's day, including your own. Now, what about gestures?
Gestures are another important part of body language. Use open gestures, like showing your palms, to appear honest and open. Avoid crossing your arms or making nervous movements, as these can make you seem closed off or anxious.
Speaking of nervous movements, what's your advice for avoiding them?
Practice is key, Jason. The more you become aware of your body language, the easier it is to control nervous habits. Try to channel nervous energy into positive gestures, like using your hands to emphasize a point while speaking.
I love that idea. Awareness is definitely the first step. Now let's talk about something people often forget, how we use space.
Yes, personal space is important. Respecting someone's personal space shows that you're considerate and aware. At the same time, standing too far away can make you seem distant or uninterested. Find a balance that feels natural for the situation.
That's such a good point, Julia. So far, we've talked about posture, eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, and personal space. Let's sum it up for our listeners. Developing positive body language is about being open, confident, and engaged.
Exactly, Jason. And it's not just about how others see you, it's also about how you feel about yourself. When you use positive body language, you can boost your self-confidence and make better connections with others.
That's a great takeaway, Julia. Before we wrap up, do you have any final tips for our listeners?
Yes. Practice, practice, practice. Positive body language isn't something you learn overnight. Start small. Maybe focus on your posture one day and eye contact the next. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The key is to keep improving.
Well said, Julia. And for all our listeners, we have a little challenge for you. This week, pick one tip from today's podcast and try to use it every day. Let us know how it goes in the comments section or on our social media.
That's a great idea, Jason. We'd love to hear your stories. And don't forget to subscribe to the Personal Growth Talks podcast for more tips and inspiration.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We'll see you next time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Personal Growth Talk podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and today we're diving into a topic that every English learner needs to hear about: how to build your English brain. If you've ever felt stuck translating words in your head while trying to speak English, this episode is for you.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia, your co-host. Jason, this topic is so important. I remember when I first started learning English, I'd always think in my native language first and then try to translate. It made everything slow and frustrating.
Exactly. And that's what we'll tackle today. We'll talk about what it means to have an English brain, why it's a game changer, and, most importantly, how you can train your brain to think directly in English. Trust me, it's simpler than you think.
Absolutely. So grab your headphones, sit back, and let's get started. By the end of this episode, you'll have some practical tips to stop translating and start thinking in English with ease.
All right, let's dive in. So, Julia, let's start with the big question. What exactly is an English brain? What does it mean to think in English?
Good question, Jason. An English brain means training your mind to process thoughts directly in English instead of thinking in your native language and then translating. It's about making English your default way of thinking, especially when listening, speaking, or even reading.
That makes sense. When you think in English, it becomes automatic, right? Like when you see a chair, instead of thinking about the word in your native language, you immediately think chair.
Exactly. It's about developing that mental connection where English feels natural. Think of it like muscle memory, but for your brain. The more you practice thinking in English, the less effort it takes to form sentences or express your thoughts.
That's such a great way to put it, like building a habit. I've heard a lot of learners say they struggle because they always translate in their heads. Why do you think that happens?
Well, it's because most of us learn English through translation at first. For example, you learn chair by connecting it to the word in your native language. But over time, if you want to speak fluently, you need to break that habit and make English your first mental response.
Right, it's like rewiring your brain. And this shift is so important because it speeds up your reaction time and helps you communicate more naturally. Plus, it reduces the stress of constantly finding the right word.
Exactly. So when we talk about building an English brain, we're talking about retraining your mind to think, imagine, and respond in English first, without translating. It's a process, but it's totally achievable with the right techniques.
Perfect explanation, Julia. So now that we understand what an English brain is, let's move on to why it's so important and how it can change the way you learn English. Now that we know what an English brain is, let's talk about why it's so important. Julia, why do you think this shift makes such a big difference for English learners?
Great question, Jason. One of the biggest reasons is speed. When you translate in your head, it slows everything down. Imagine you're in a conversation and you have to think of the word in your language, translate it to English, then speak. By the time you're ready, the moment might have passed.
Exactly, and that can make you feel nervous or even embarrassed, right? Plus, it can stop you from fully enjoying conversations because you're so focused on the translation process.
Yes, and it's not just about speed. Building an English brain also helps with accuracy. Translating doesn't always work because some words or phrases don't have a direct translation. For example, idioms or expressions like "it's raining cats and dogs" don't make sense if you try to translate them literally.
That's a great point. Thinking in English lets you understand and use phrases the way native speakers do. It's also key to sounding more natural when you speak, which builds confidence.
Exactly. And confidence is such a huge part of learning a language. When you stop translating, you feel more in control. You can focus on expressing your ideas instead of worrying about making mistakes.
That's so true. And let's not forget how this helps with listening skills. When you think in English, you process what you hear faster, which means you can keep up with conversations or even enjoy movies and podcasts without subtitles.
Absolutely. So, in short, building your English brain isn't just about improving fluency, it's about making English a natural part of your life. And that's what brings real progress.
Well said, Julia. Now that we know why it's important, let's dive into the fun part. How to actually train your English brain. All right, Julia, now it's time to talk about the practical part. How to train your English brain. Where should someone start if they want to think directly in English?
Great question, Jason. The first step is immersion. You don't have to live in an English-speaking country to immerse yourself. Surround yourself with English wherever you can. Listen to English podcasts, watch movies or shows in English, and read simple books or articles. Even just hearing the language often helps your brain get used to it.
That's a good point. Another method I recommend is labeling. For example, label the things around you in English. your desk, your chair, your phone, and start calling them by their English names in your mind. It's a simple way to train your brain to associate objects with English words.
Absolutely. And to take it a step further, you can start narrating your daily life in English. For example, if you're cooking, think to yourself, I'm chopping vegetables, or I'm boiling water. This turns your everyday routine into a practice session.
That's a great tip. I also suggest using visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a scenario, like going to a restaurant or meeting a friend. Then think about how you'd express yourself in English in that situation.
Yes, visualization is powerful. And speaking of practice, one thing that works wonders is journaling in English. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just write a few sentences about your day or how you're feeling. This helps you think in English while improving your writing skills.
I love that idea. Another fun way to train your brain is to talk to yourself. It might feel silly at first, but it's really effective. You can practice common phrases or even have imaginary conversations in English. What do you think, Julia?
Definitely. And for those who enjoy technology, there are plenty of English learning apps out there. Apps like Duolingo or Memrise encourage you to think in English by offering games, quizzes, and vocabulary building.
Great point. And one more tip. Try to stop translating in your head. When you learn a new word, don't think about its meaning in your native language. Instead, connect it directly to the object, feeling, or action it represents.
Exactly. The more you do this, the more natural it will feel. Remember, training your English brain isn't something that happens overnight. It takes consistent effort, but every little step counts.
Right. And the best part is, these tips are easy to incorporate into your daily routine. So listeners, pick one or two of these techniques and start practicing today. Small changes lead to big results.
Couldn't agree more, Jason. So let's move on to some fun, practical exercises to help you build your English brain even faster.
Now that we've talked about strategies, let's get into some fun and practical exercises to help build your English brain. Julia, do you have a favorite exercise that you recommend?
Absolutely, Jason. One of my favorites is the mirror exercise. Stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself in English. Pretend you're having a conversation. Introduce yourself, describe your day, or even role-play a situation like ordering coffee. It's great for building confidence and thinking in English without pressure.
I love that one. Another great exercise is what I call the Machino 5-second rule. Whenever you see something around you, take 5 seconds to describe it in English. For example, if you see a tree, you could say, it's tall, it has green leaves, and it gives shade. This forces your brain to think quickly in English.
That's a great idea. Another fun exercise is story building. Choose 3 random words. For example, dog, beach, and ice cream. Then try to make a short story using those words. For instance, the dog ran to the beach and ate an ice cream. It's simple, but it trains your brain to think creatively in English.
That's such a fun one. Another exercise I recommend is English journaling challenges. Each day, write a few sentences about something specific, like your favorite food, a memory, or even your goals. But here's the twist. Write without using a dictionary. This pushes you to use the words you already know and think in English.
That's brilliant. And for those who love listening, try the shadowing exercise. Pick a short audio clip or a podcast and repeat what you hear word for word, trying to match the speaker's tone and rhythm. It's fantastic for training your brain to process English faster and improving your pronunciation.
Absolutely. And here's one more. Daily recap. At the end of the day, take 5 minutes to recap your day out loud in English. Talk about what you did, how you felt, and what you're looking forward to tomorrow. It's a simple exercise, but it helps you connect your thoughts in English.
These exercises are so effective because they make you actively engage with English. The more you practice, the easier it will be to think in English naturally.
Exactly, Julia. So listeners, pick a couple of these exercises and try them out today. Remember, the key is consistency. You'll see progress faster than you think.
Absolutely. Now, let's wrap things up with a quick recap and some final motivation for our listeners.
All right, Julia, we've covered a lot today. From understanding what an English brain is to learning why it's important and trying out practical exercises. I hope our listeners are feeling motivated to start training their English brain right away.
Absolutely, Jason. And remember, it's all about small, consistent steps. You don't have to be perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. The important thing is to keep practicing and challenging yourself to think in English as often as possible.
Well said, Julia. So, to all our listeners, here's your challenge. Pick one or two of the exercises we discussed today and commit to doing them every day for the next week. Whether it's the mirror exercise, journaling, or shadowing, make it a part of your daily routine.
And don't forget to have fun with it. Language learning is a journey, not a race. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it seems.
Exactly. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's also learning English. We'd love to hear about your progress, so leave a comment or share your favorite tips for building an English brain.
Yes, we love hearing from you. And stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll explore more ways to make learning English easy and fun.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep building that English brain.
Bye for now, and happy learning.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and joining me today is my amazing co-host, Julia. How are you doing today, Julia?
Hey, Jason. I'm doing great, and I'm super excited about today's topic because it's something that every English learner struggles with at some point: how to actually start speaking English.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're going to help with today. So, if you're listening to this and you've ever felt nervous about speaking English, or you don't know where to start, this episode is for you.
Yes, today we're going to share 5 powerful ways to help you speak English more naturally and confidently. These are simple, practical techniques that anyone can use, no matter where you are in your English learning journey.
And the best part? You don't need expensive courses, a classroom, or even a language partner to start using these methods. You can apply them in your daily life, starting right after this podcast.
Exactly. Whether you're a beginner who feels too shy to speak or an intermediate learner trying to sound more fluent, these 5 methods will help you break out of your comfort zone and start speaking English with confidence.
So, stick with us until the end of this episode because we'll also be sharing some bonus tips on how to overcome common challenges like fear of making mistakes, lack of practice, and more.
And if you find this podcast helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave us a comment. We love hearing from you.
All right, let's jump right in. The first thing we need to talk about is why speaking English is so important. Before we share the 5 ways, let's quickly discuss why practicing speaking is the key to fluency. So, before we dive into the 5 ways to speak English, let's take a moment to talk about something really important: why speaking English matters so much.
That's a great point, Jason. Many English learners spend years studying grammar and vocabulary but still struggle when it comes to speaking. Have you ever heard someone say, "I understand English, but I can't speak it"?
Oh, all the time. And that's because learning about English and actually speaking English are 2 completely different things. You can know all the rules, but if you don't practice speaking, it's hard to communicate fluently.
Exactly. Speaking is like a muscle. You have to train it regularly to get stronger. Think about it. If you want to get fit, you don't just read about exercise, right? You actually work out. It's the same with English.
That's such a good analogy. And here's another thing. English is a global language. Whether you're traveling, working, studying, or even using social media, knowing how to speak English can open so many opportunities.
Yes, it's the language of business, technology, and international communication. So if you can speak English confidently, you'll have an advantage in your career, education, and even your personal life.
And speaking English isn't just about job opportunities, it also helps you connect with people from all over the world. Imagine traveling to another country and being able to have conversations with locals. It makes the experience so much richer.
That's so true. And let's not forget, speaking English builds confidence. A lot of learners feel nervous or shy when they try to speak, but the more you practice, the more comfortable you become.
Exactly. And today, we're going to help you overcome that fear. We'll show you 5 powerful ways to start speaking English more naturally and fluently.
Yes. So, if you've been avoiding speaking because you feel scared or unsure, don't worry. We've got you covered. Let's get into it.
All right, let's start with Way 1, speaking with yourself. This is one of the most effective ways to improve your English, and we'll tell you exactly how to do it. All right, let's dive into Way 1, speak with yourself. You might be thinking, wait, what? Speak with myself? But trust me, this is one of the easiest and most effective ways to practice speaking English.
Exactly. It might sound a bit strange at first, but this method is so powerful because it allows you to practice without needing a partner. You're literally your own best practice partner.
Right. For example, when you're doing everyday tasks like making breakfast, driving to work, or even just walking, try describing what you're doing in English.
Yes, or you could pretend you're explaining something to someone. Imagine you're giving a tutorial on how to cook your favorite recipe. It might feel a little silly at first, but you'll be surprised at how quickly your speaking skills improve.
And the key here is consistency. The more you practice speaking to yourself, the more comfortable you'll become. Start small, and as you gain confidence, try telling stories or even narrating your thoughts in English.
That's right. And don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is just to get used to speaking and forming sentences in real time. Plus, you can always go back and correct yourself later.
Exactly. It's all about building confidence and practicing regularly. So, the next time you're alone, try talking to yourself in English. It might feel awkward at first, but trust me, it works.
Now moving on to Way 2, imitate native speakers. This one's a favorite of mine. The idea is simple, shadowing.
Shadowing? Can you explain that a bit more?
Of course. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker, whether it's in a movie, TV show, podcast, or even a YouTube video, and repeat what they say, word for word, immediately after they say it.
Ah, I see. It's like you're mimicking the way they speak. Their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm.
Exactly. The goal is to get as close as possible to their natural way of speaking. It helps with pronunciation, fluency, and even understanding how English is spoken in real-life situations.
And the best part is that you can use all kinds of materials. If you're into movies, watch your favorite scenes in English and repeat the lines. If you prefer podcasts, choose one that interests you and just repeat the words as soon as you hear them.
Yes, and don't forget to pay attention to intonation, the rise and fall of your voice. It's not just about the words. It's also about how those words are said.
Absolutely. Shadowing is a great way to sound more natural and get used to the rhythm of the language. Plus, it's fun because you're learning from native speakers who sound confident and fluid. Moving on to join speaking communities. This is so important. If you want to really improve your speaking, you have to practice with others.
Yes, there's no substitute for real conversations. You can join language exchange platforms or conversation groups, either online or in person, to practice speaking with other English learners or native speakers.
Exactly. Websites like Tandem or HelloTalk let you connect with people around the world who are learning your language or teaching English. You can set up video or voice calls, and that's where the real magic happens.
And even if you don't have access to a conversation partner, there are plenty of speaking groups on platforms like Facebook or Meetup. Many of these groups host free weekly sessions where you can practice with others.
And it's important to remember, don't be shy. Everyone is learning, and most people are more than happy to practice with you. Plus, making mistakes in a safe space is how you improve.
Exactly. Practicing with others builds your confidence and also exposes you to different accents and speaking styles, which is really useful when you're learning a language.
Next up, we have record and listen to yourself. Now, this one might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but it's incredibly useful.
It can feel awkward listening to your own voice, but it's one of the most effective ways to spot areas where you can improve.
Exactly. When you record yourself speaking, whether it's reading a short passage or having a mini conversation, you can listen back and really focus on things like pronunciation, word stress, and sentence structure.
And the best part is, you can track your progress over time. If you record yourself every few weeks, you'll notice just how much your speaking has improved.
It's true. You might also catch certain mistakes you didn't realize you were making. You can self-correct and work on those areas where you're struggling.
Absolutely. Plus, the more you hear yourself speaking in English, the more confident you'll feel. It's a great way to build fluency without needing anyone else around.
And finally, think in English. This is the ultimate goal for any language learner. If you want to sound natural and fluent, you have to get to the point where your brain automatically thinks in English.
Yes, when you stop translating everything in your head, you'll speak much faster and more fluidly. So how do you start thinking in English? Well, it's all about changing your mindset.
Exactly. One easy way to start is by labeling things around you in English. For example, you could stick sticky notes on objects in your house, like door, table, window, etc.
Another way is to start describing things in English as you go through your day. For example, when you see a dog on the street, instead of thinking in your native language, try to think the sentence in English. That dog is running so fast.
Over time, you'll start to think more naturally in English, and it'll become second nature. This is the key to achieving fluency. Now that we've covered the 5 powerful ways to speak English, let's talk about something that many learners struggle with. Overcoming common challenges.
That's right, Jason. Learning to speak English isn't always easy, and there are some obstacles that almost every learner faces. But the good news is, these challenges are totally manageable.
One of the biggest challenges is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners feel embarrassed or self-conscious when speaking because they're afraid of saying something wrong.
Yes, but the truth is, making mistakes is part of the learning process. Think about it. When you were a child learning to speak your native language, did you speak perfectly from day one?
Of course not. We all made mistakes, but over time, we learned and improved. The same goes for English. Don't let fear stop you from speaking. Mistakes are a great way to learn.
Exactly. And another big challenge is finding time to practice. We're all busy with work, school, and daily life, so it can be tough to find time to practice speaking.
That's a great point. But the key is to make speaking English a part of your daily routine. You don't have to set aside hours to practice. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference.
Yes, try to integrate speaking into things you're already doing. For example, you can talk to yourself in English while cooking, doing laundry, or walking your dog. Small moments of practice add up over time.
Absolutely. And sometimes, learners also face the challenge of not having a conversation partner. But remember, there are plenty of ways to practice even if you don't have someone to speak with.
Right. You can use the methods we've already talked about, like speaking with yourself, shadowing native speakers, or joining online speaking communities. The key is to be creative and proactive.
Another challenge is lack of confidence. It's natural to feel nervous when speaking a new language, but the more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Think about how much progress you've already made.
Exactly. Confidence comes with practice. The more you speak, the less you'll worry about making mistakes, and the more comfortable you'll feel using English.
And last but not least, many learners struggle with motivation. Sometimes it's hard to stay consistent, especially when you don't see immediate results.
That's totally normal, and I get it. But it's important to keep reminding yourself why you started learning English in the first place. Whether it's for career growth, travel, or personal development, having a clear goal can keep you motivated.
Right. And don't compare your progress to others. Everyone's learning journey is different. Celebrate your own victories, no matter how small they seem.
Exactly. So don't let challenges hold you back. Embrace the process, stay patient, and keep practicing. You've got this.
Absolutely. And remember, we're here to help every step of the way. Keep using the 5 ways we've shared today. And before you know it, speaking English will feel much more natural and easy. Before we wrap up today's episode, we want to leave you with some final tips and a little extra encouragement to keep you going.
Yes. First, remember that progress takes time. Learning a language is not something that happens overnight. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small wins along the way.
Exactly. If you find yourself feeling frustrated, take a step back and look at how far you've come. Every new word you learn, every sentence you speak, is a step toward fluency.
Another tip is to stay consistent. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, try to speak English every day. Consistency is key to making real progress. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now.
Yes, and don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Try speaking in front of a mirror, record yourself, or even have a conversation with a stranger in English. The more you challenge yourself, the faster you'll grow.
Absolutely. And finally, remember that mistakes are your friends. They are proof that you're learning and growing. So don't be afraid of them. Embrace them. Each mistake is just another opportunity to improve.
And don't forget that learning English opens up so many opportunities. Whether it's traveling, building new connections, or advancing in your career, the benefits are endless. So keep at it.
That's right. English is more than just a language. It's a bridge to new experiences and a new world. So stay motivated, keep practicing, and trust that you'll get there.
We're cheering you on every step of the way. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. You've got a whole community of learners out there, and we're here to support you too.
Exactly. So keep practicing, stay positive, and most importantly, have fun with it. The more you enjoy the process, the faster you'll improve.
All right, that's all for today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. We hope you found these tips helpful and that you feel inspired to speak more English every day.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back with more helpful tips and strategies in our next episode. Until then, keep practicing and don't forget, you've got this.
Take care and happy speaking. And that brings us to the end of today's episode on the English Learning Podcast. We really hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found the tips we shared helpful.
Absolutely. Remember, speaking English is a journey and you don't have to do it alone. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. So keep practicing and stay motivated.
We know that learning a language can sometimes feel overwhelming, but it's important to stay positive and consistent. Trust the process, and over time, you will see amazing results.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or need more tips, feel free to reach out to us on social media or leave us a comment. We're always happy to help.
And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. We've got plenty more useful tips and strategies coming your way to help you on your English learning journey.
Thanks again for joining us today. Keep practicing your English, stay confident, and remember that you're doing great. Until next time, take care and keep speaking.
See you in the next episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so excited to be with you today.
Absolutely. Today's episode is going to be super helpful because we're talking about something every English learner wants: fluency.
Yes, fluency. That smooth, natural way of speaking English without stopping every second to think.
Exactly. And Julia, I know this is something our listeners really care about. They often ask, how can I speak English more fluently? Or, why do I understand English but I can't speak it confidently?
That's a common problem. Many learners understand English grammar or vocabulary, but when it's time to speak, they freeze or feel nervous.
Right. So today, we're going to break it down into 5 clear steps that can help you speak more confidently, more naturally, and more fluently.
Before we jump into the steps, let's quickly talk about why fluency matters. Why is it so important?
Good question. Fluency gives you freedom. It helps you speak your thoughts clearly, whether you're in a classroom, at a job interview, or just talking to friends online.
And when you're fluent, people understand you better. You feel more confident, and you enjoy using English instead of feeling scared or shy.
Exactly. It's not about being perfect. It's about being comfortable, natural, and able to express yourself.
So true. And the good news is fluency is not a talent. It's a skill you can build with the right habits and practice.
So if you're ready to boost your fluency and speak English with more confidence, stay with us. Let's dive into step 1. All right, step 1 to improve your English fluency is simple but powerful. Practice speaking daily, with purpose.
Yes, and we want to really highlight that last part. With purpose. It's not just about saying a few English words and calling it a day.
Exactly. You have to be intentional. It's like going to the gym. You don't just walk around the gym and expect to get stronger. You have to train specific muscles. And speaking English is the same.
Love that example. So, Jason, what does speaking with purpose actually look like for a learner?
Good question. It means setting a small speaking goal every day. For example, today I'll describe my morning routine in English. Or I'll talk for 2 minutes about what I did yesterday.
Yes, even if you're alone, you can still speak. Stand in front of a mirror. Pretend you're talking to a friend. Or record yourself on your phone.
Actually, that's one of my favorite tips. Record yourself speaking. It feels weird at first, I know, but it helps you hear your pronunciation, your speed, and your grammar. You become more aware.
And the best part is, you can track your progress. If you record yourself once a week, you'll notice your improvement. It's really motivating.
Also, speaking out loud helps build muscle memory. Your mouth, your tongue, your brain, they all need to get used to making English sounds smoothly.
Right, it's not just mental, it's physical too. You're training your speaking muscles like an athlete trains for a sport.
Let's give an example. Let's say I want to practice speaking today. I'll choose a topic, like what I ate for lunch. Then I might say out loud, "Today, I had grilled chicken with rice and a salad. It was delicious. I also drank a glass of orange juice."
Perfect. Simple, clear, and real. And the more you do this, the easier it gets. Start with 1 minute a day, then move to 3, then 5.
And remember, don't worry about making mistakes. That's how you learn. The goal is fluency, not perfection.
Exactly. If you get stuck, just keep going. You can even say, "I don't know the word in English, but it's like," and try to explain it.
That's real communication. Native speakers do that too sometimes. It's okay to not know everything.
And if you have a language partner, great. Practice with them daily, even for a few minutes. If not, talk to yourself seriously. Talking to yourself in English is powerful.
Absolutely. I always say, if you can think it, you can speak it. But you have to practice out loud, every day, even just a little.
So, step 1 is make speaking English a daily habit and speak with intention. Choose a topic. Set a timer. Talk to yourself. Record it. Review it.
Even 5 minutes a day will build fluency over time. It's like watering a plant. Small drops every day equals big growth later.
Love that. Are you ready for step 2?
I am. Let's talk about a powerful mindset change. Thinking in English, not just translating. Welcome back. So, step 2 to improving your English fluency is something that takes a little practice but makes a big difference. Think in English, not just translate.
Yes, this is so important. Many learners try to translate from their native language every time they speak English, but that slows you down and makes fluency much harder.
Exactly. It's like trying to run a race while stopping every few steps to look at a map. You lose speed and confidence.
That's a great way to put it. And translation can also lead to strange or incorrect sentences because every language has its own way of expressing things.
Right? For example, in English we say, "It's raining cats and dogs" to mean heavy rain. If you try to translate that word for word into another language, it might sound completely confusing.
So instead of translating, the goal is to train your brain to think in English, to go directly from your thoughts to English words.
Let's talk about how to do that. It starts with simple daily thinking. For example, when you wake up in the morning, try to describe your actions in English in your mind.
Like this. I'm getting out of bed. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee.
Yes, keep it simple. No one else is listening, so don't worry. Just get your brain used to forming English thoughts.
You can also label things around your house in English, like door, window, mirror, notebook. That way you start seeing the world in English.
I love that tip. And another way is to ask yourself questions in English. Like, what do I want to eat today? What's the weather like? What time is my meeting?
Then try to answer in English, even if the sentences are short. The goal is to reduce the habit of translating in your head.
Here's a helpful trick I've used with students. Set a no translation time. Maybe just 10 minutes a day, where you only allow yourself to think in English.
Oh, I like that. You can even turn it into a fun challenge, like from 6 a.m. to 6:10 a.m., no native language, only English thoughts.
Exactly. It builds focus. And over time, your brain will get faster. You'll be surprised how much you can actually think in English without help.
And don't worry if you don't know how to say something, just use simple words. Don't wait for the perfect sentence. For example, instead of "I need to fix the broken faucet," just say, "Water not working. I want to fix it."
That's still communication. It's better to say something simple than to freeze while thinking of perfect grammar.
Right. Fluency is about flow, not perfection. Kids learn to speak their first language without worrying about grammar. You can do the same in English.
So let's summarize this step. To become fluent, start thinking in English in your daily life. Don't translate word by word. Use simple English sentences in your mind. Practice every day, even just for 5 or 10 minutes.
And remember, your brain is smart. The more you train it to think in English, the faster and more natural it becomes.
Exactly. All right. Ready to move on to step 3?
Yes. Step 3 is one of my favorites. Learning phrases instead of just single words. Let's talk about that next.
All right. Welcome back. We're now on step 3, and this one is a total game changer. Learn phrases, not just words.
Yes, if you've been trying to memorize long vocabulary lists one word at a time, don't worry, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Learning phrases is much more effective for fluency.
Absolutely. When you only learn words like go, store, milk, you still don't know how to say a sentence. But if you learn a full phrase like, I'm going to the store to buy some milk, you can actually speak with confidence.
Right. Phrases give you real tools you can use in daily life. They help you build sentences faster, and they sound more natural, too.
Let's give a few examples of useful phrases learners can start with. Like, can I help you with that? I'm not sure. Let me check. What do you think about it? That sounds great.
These are phrases native speakers use all the time, and when you learn them as whole units, you don't have to stop and think about grammar.
Exactly. It's like playing music. You don't learn a song note by note. You learn full melodies. Same with language. Learn full chunks of conversation.
I love that example. And here's another tip. Notice the phrases people use in TV shows, movies, and podcasts. Write them down and repeat them.
Yes. Let's say you're watching a show and a character says, I'll get back to you later. Write it down. Practice it. That phrase could help you at work, in school, or in a conversation online.
Exactly. It's so much easier to remember "I'll get back to you later" as one phrase than trying to think of each word separately.
And learners often ask us, how can I sound more like a native speaker? The answer is, use common phrases.
And don't just memorize them. Practice using them in your own speaking. Make your own examples. Say them out loud every day.
For example, take the phrase, that makes sense. You can say, your explanation makes sense. Oh, now I get it. That makes sense.
Yes, and once that phrase is in your brain, it will come out easily during real conversations.
Let's give a few more to help our listeners build their phrase bank. I don't know yet. I'm looking forward to it. It depends on the situation. Let me think about it.
These are golden. You'll hear them again and again in real conversations.
So here's the key takeaway. Stop memorizing long lists of individual words. Start collecting useful phrases, real sentences people use every day. Repeat them. Practice them. Use them when you speak.
Phrases make your speaking smoother, faster, and way more natural.
All right, that wraps up step 3. Coming up next, step 4. And this one's all about listening and repeating like a native speaker.
Yes, if you want to sound more fluent, step 4 will show you exactly how to do it.
All right, we're now on step 4 of our journey to better English fluency. And this one's really fun and powerful. Listen and repeat like a native.
Yes. If you want to sound more natural when you speak, this is a technique you must try. It's simple. You listen carefully to a native speaker, and then you repeat exactly what they say, just like an echo.
It's not just about the words. It's about the rhythm, the tone, and even the emotion behind the sentence.
Right. Think of it like singing a song. When you sing along with your favorite artist, you try to match their voice, right?
Exactly. And language has a music of its own, called intonation. When you repeat what a native speaker says, the same way they say it, you start sounding more natural and confident.
Let's give a simple example. A native speaker might say, "What do you want to do today?" They don't say, "What do you want to do today?" slowly. It flows.
Yes! They connect the words, "What do you want to do today?" And if you repeat that out loud again and again, you'll start to speak with the same rhythm and flow.
And that's the key. Repetition. Not just once. Say it 10 times, 20 times. It's okay to sound silly at first. That's how you train your mouth and ears.
You can do this with podcasts, YouTube videos, TV shows, even short TikTok. Just find a sentence you like, pause the video, and repeat it out loud.
And one of my favorite tools is shadowing. That means you listen to a speaker and speak at the same time, just 1 or 2 seconds behind them.
Yes, shadowing trains your brain to respond quickly and improves your reaction speed when speaking.
Also, don't worry if you don't understand every single word. The goal is to match the sound and pattern. You're training your ears and your voice.
Right? And over time, your pronunciation gets better. Your fluency improves. You'll start to feel how English is spoken, not just read it.
Here's a quick challenge for our listeners. Choose one short English video today, just 1 minute long. Listen to one sentence. Pause, repeat it 5 times out loud, then play the next sentence. Repeat again. Do this every day for a week.
That's a great challenge. If you follow it for even 1 week, you'll notice a real change in how you speak.
And remember, this isn't about copying someone's voice. It's about learning the natural sound of English, like how natives stress some words and soften others.
Right. For example, in the sentence, "I really like that movie," the word really is stressed because it's important.
Yes, and learning where to stress words helps your English sound alive, not robotic.
So to wrap up step 4, listen to native speakers every day. Repeat what they say. Focus on rhythm, tone, and speed. Don't just hear English, echo it.
You'll be surprised how fast you start to sound more fluent, more confident, and more like a natural speaker.
All right, our next step is a powerful one. Step 5. Surround yourself with English. And no, you don't need to move to another country to do it.
Haha, true. We'll show you how to bring English into your daily life, no matter where you live.
And now, we've reached step 5, our final and one of the most powerful steps to becoming fluent. Surround yourself with English.
Yes, many learners think you have to live in an English-speaking country to improve fast. But guess what? You can create an English world, no matter where you are.
Exactly. These days, English is everywhere. You just have to bring it into your life on purpose. Think of it like creating a full English environment around you.
Let's start with simple ideas. For example, change the language on your phone to English.
Such a smart move! You already know where everything is, so seeing it in English helps you learn words without stress.
Also, follow English-speaking YouTubers, Instagram pages, or TikTok creators. Your social media can become your language school.
Right. Instead of scrolling in your native language, scroll in English. Watch short videos. Read comments. Even the funny memes help.
And let's not forget music. Listen to English songs, try to sing along, look up the lyrics. It's fun and helps your listening and pronunciation.
You can also listen to English podcasts, like this one, while walking, cleaning, or cooking. No need to sit and study, just let English play in the background.
That's real immersion. And here's another trick. Put sticky notes on things in your house with their English names.
Yes, like putting a note on the mirror, fridge, door, remote. It's a visual reminder. It helps you think in English more often.
You can also join English-speaking communities online, maybe a Facebook group, a language exchange app, or even a small study group.
And don't be afraid to speak. even if it's not perfect. The more you expose yourself to English, the more your brain gets used to it.
Exactly. It becomes natural. You start hearing patterns, learning phrases, and feeling more comfortable with the language.
So the goal here is this. Don't just study English for 30 minutes a day. Live with English. Play with English. Be friends with English.
I love that. And remember, small daily actions lead to big fluency over time. It's like planting seeds every day. Your language garden will grow.
Well said. So to recap, Step 5. Surround yourself with English. Online, offline, in your home, and in your routine. Make English part of your world.
And when you do, your brain will start thinking, responding, and speaking more naturally in English without even trying so hard.
All right. That's all 5 steps. In just a moment, we'll wrap things up and give you some final motivation to stay on your fluency journey.
Let's do it!
All right. We've reached the end of this episode, and we've covered a lot. Let's do a quick recap of the 5 steps to improve your English fluency.
Step 1. Practice speaking daily, even just a few minutes a day, with purpose. Step 2. Think in English. Train your brain to stop translating. Step 3. Learn phrases, not just words. Use real-life chunks of language. Step 4. Listen and repeat. Like a native, focus on rhythm and pronunciation. Step 5. Surround yourself with English. Create a language-rich environment.
If you follow these steps consistently, fluency won't just be a dream, it'll become your reality.
And remember, progress takes time. Don't worry about being perfect. Just keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep enjoying the process.
Yes, make English a part of your life. Speak it, hear it, think it, and most importantly, have fun with it.
We believe in you, and we're here with you on this journey.
Thanks for listening to the English Learning Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, share this episode with a friend, and leave a comment about which step you'll start with today.
Until next time, keep practicing and keep growing.